Welcome again to the Babbleheads podcast with Bryson and Corey.
You can do better. Come on, you can do better. I've heard you do better.
Welcome to the Babbleheads podcast with Bryson and Corey.
Hey! When you looked at me right there, I could barely see you, but it looked pretty great. That was great.
What's up, podcast people?
Hello!
Yellow.
No, we are not going to hold these on our faces the entire time because they're pretty uncomfortable.
Yes, they're wicked uncomfortable, actually.
I like how it sits perfectly on my chin so I can barely speak with them, and I can barely open my mouth.
Yep, same here.
So
it's definitely asphyxiating.
I can't take you serious.
You can't take me so serious?
So like, I can't speak. Alright, that's enough of that. For the
big reveal.
Yeah, for the big reveal. Look at that. That wasn't it, though.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah, totally.
We're bald as he is.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, that was digging into exactly here, so I'm talking like this the whole time. It was
inflamed lip is what they call that.
I'm going to dig in first here.
Ooh, it's tight. It's tight like a toiga. I'm going to have a little sip of this here.
Water. Oh, no. That was a little bit more than I wanted to do, but,
Hit me.
This is where we are now. So for those of you listening to the podcast, not enjoying the visual eye experience...
eye experience.
Yeah.
As if there was a visual ear experience.
Mm-hmm. We had a interesting cheap dollar store mask on, and then we revealed cheap dollar store bald caps that are definitely coming up on the back.
Ooh, are they?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh,
Try
my.
not to hit the table there, Hoss.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's delicate.
All this work I put into soundproofing the table in a way that we can touch
I know,
it.
and you just smacked it.
Whatever I can do to help the cause.
All right, Halloween episode.
Yes, mate. It's Halloweeny. Look at we're Halloweenies.
Yes, we are. Hollow weenies.
Sounds like really disappointing.
Yeah, it does. So we partook in some Halloween festivities tonight.
We did indeed.
Yeah. I really enjoy the, what would you say, private or local haunted houses and attractions.
It would definitely be local.
Yeah, local. So we went to a local farm that has a haunted hayride and a haunted maze, and it's called Wood Creek Hollow. Mm-hmm. It was pretty fun. I grew up working at one on Route 69, had a farm. And I worked inside they had like a haunted house, but it was a little bit smaller, but it was fun. I enjoyed working there, and it was a good time. And so I think there's a certain amount of charm to like the not necessarily perfect high budget.
So what you're telling me is you think that things that are campy are cool.
Yes.
Because it's definitely campy. They're never good.
Never?
Have you ever been to a good one?
Yes.
Like a truly great local one?
Yeah. I think they all have their charm.
Charm and good are not the same thing.
So, I think the thing with hayrides is I think they're pretty hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Especially because there's a lot that's involved.
There is.
And I think the big thing is obviously the safety of everyone involved causes kind of a major issue.
Yeah, we live in a safety scissors world already as it is.
Yeah, so like necessarily chasing or walking around a moving thing that, weighs however many tons.
Several, most likely.
Yeah, it just spells disaster for the majority of people. So,
You telling me people would get hurt by a tractor?
Yes. They get rolled over. I could see it.
I could definitely see it too.
But, it wasn't... The hayride had a pretty good ending, I would say. That it kind of turned it around. But the stopping and knowing that every time they stopped, something was going to happen kind of...
Yeah, there was no in-between. That was what got me on the hayride.
Yeah.
For me, the scariest stuff is the stuff you don't expect.
Yeah.
So even if it was just somebody coming up behind and like banging on the thing behind you, but while you were in motion, like they sneak up on you, that's scary.
Yeah, and I think they could have done that. They could have done it with less stops and more of that, and it makes it scary, which is kind of funny because when we got to the maze, that's a lot what it was.
Right.
You know, there was only a few people working in the haunted maze, which it really wasn't a maze. It was more of a path.
It was.
But I think in the end, at first I was a little disappointed.
I think it had the illusion of being a maze.
Yeah. Yeah, at first I was a little disappointed. I'm like, oh man, it's not really a maze. Like, I wanted to spend like a good hour in there trying to get out. But after we got in there and it was dark, and we made a pact not to use flashlights. I think it...
so dark.
Yeah, I think it turned it around for me.
Because it was overcast, too.
Yeah.
So there was no moonlight, there was no starlight, it was just darkness.
Yeah, and I have to say, the funniest part was when I go, I don't think this thing to the right is a path. I think that's just the rows of corn. Let's go straight. And I take like 2 steps forward, the clown pops out and goes, it wasn't a path. And like tries to scare us. And I mean, I jumped, obviously, because he was sitting pretty still. I have to say, the people, especially in the maze, or the werewolf that we ran into... They were really good at,
the werewolf was a bro.
Yeah.
The werewolf was such a bro. We're just sitting there talking. We're waiting in line for the hayride.
Yep.
We were first in line, and I was standing with my back to everything. And we were all talking. And me and Corey were standing next to each other. We were talking to everybody. And in our group, we had like 8 people. And we're all talking. And the next thing I know, I hear Corey go, oh, hey there.
Yeah.
And I look over, and there's just a fuzzy snout.
A muzzle.
Right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, hey, buddy.
Yeah, I looked right up his nose.
that was pretty great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I don't know why, but the one thing at these haunted things that always gets me, like, I know that it's, obviously, I know it's not real. Yeah. I know that there's nothing that can possibly hurt me. But for whatever reason, the sound of the chainsaw always freaks me out. And I've used chainsaws before. It's not like I've not personally dealt with them, but for some reason, in a very dark setting, when I hear a chainsaw start up inches behind me, it instantly sends chills up my spine.
That was the best, because we turned the corner, and of course, I always end up being in the front every time. Yeah. Because nothing really bothers me.
I was up the back, which is just arguably worse.
It's as bad, I would say. And I'm walking... And we turn the corner, and there's just this long, straight corridor. And I go,
this isn't good.
This isn't good. And on cue, in Bryson's ear,
yes,
he starts the chainsaw.
Dude, the guy was lit. I mean, I swear, if he could have been any closer, he'd been in my rectum. That's how close he was when he started that chainsaw. Yeah. And my reaction... completely out of it's 100% from the belly of my nature. Yeah. I just went, motherfucker.
Oh, so we're just throwing that out now. Well, I guess we do have the explicit tag anyway, so there we go. Yeah, that was pretty good. Now I have to say, the thing that got me, and it wasn't scary, it was a creepy appreciation. We are going, and it's another pretty long straightaway, but I'm like, oh, that looks like the end. And we're walking, and then I hear rustling of corn and like steps coming down the path towards us. And I'm looking up. I'm like, what the heck is that?
It was so dark.
It was so dark.
Oh wait, we got to tell the story before we get to that. Seriously, because the chainsaw guy.
Oh yeah.
After he scared the crap out of me, and my wife actually peed a little.
Yes.
I befriended him.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, he said, after we talked for a second, and he said my name a couple times, which was him trying to creep me out further.
Yeah.
He said, make sure you say hi to my sister Annabelle. Or no, Abigail. Make sure you say hi to my sister Abigail. And I was like, okay, will do.
Yeah.
So, now back to Corey's story.
So we're walking, and I'm like...
That's what we should call this podcast.
I hear something coming. And then I look, and I'm looking straight, and then all of a sudden I look down... crawling at like a impressive rate, probably faster than I could run on all fours. A girl just comes at us like out of the ring or whatever, and I was like, That was crazy. That was really creepy.
It's pouring out, so she's crawling through the mud.
Yeah, and it's like
such a trooper.
So dark that like she materializes like 15 feet in front of us. I was like, that's good. That was good right there. That like made the trip for me. Like, she was the real MVP.
And then as she finished scaring Corey and my wife, she came around to the back where I was, and I said, "Hey, are you Abigail?" And she goes, "Yes." And I said, "Your brother told me to say hello to you. I didn't catch his name, though. What's his name again?" She goes, "Chainsaw Charlie." And I go, "Okay, your brother Chainsaw Charlie says hello."
That's the thing. I wish that you were up front with me for that, because that was good. That was like, it was clutch. So well timed. And that's where like I was saying, the charm comes from, because every once in a while they'll do something like, I can appreciate a gem. That was good. Like, some of the athleticism of some of the people. Yeah,
there were people jumping up onto the side of the hay wagon and like climbing over, which from the ground they had to climb 12 feet. Yeah, probably anyway. Yeah, maybe more.
And they're doing that. Who knows how many times a night?
A bunch, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And like I said, it's cool to see because you can tell they're pretty passionate about it and like into it. It's cool. Now, the end of the hayride, that I think turned things up a notch.
It did. It was the best part of the hayride. For sure. So they drove us into this enclosed tarp room. Yep. And then once we were in there, and by the way, there's 4 strobe lights, one in each corner, like legitimate strobe lights. Yeah. That like disorienting strobe lights. Yeah. And they were going off the whole time. We get in there, they close everything around us, and then they started filling the room with smoke from the fog machine. Yeah. And so you could barely see. The lights were flashing unbelievably fast because they were strobes. Yeah. And then people started jumping over the railings into the actual hay wagon and, grabbing people and shaking people. Yeah. And then, out of nowhere, Corey and I got our probably only real scare of the evening. Yeah. I mean, other than my mother effer,
and other than slightly being creeped out by
the Abigail. Yeah. But, yeah, the guy just had, the whole time he was just carrying around a prop, which we thought it was just a prop of a gun. And he had I don't know if you noticed, but he had combat hand gloves on, and he had a 511 shirt on, which is like a combat shirt. And I'm like, cool, he's like a soldier zombie or something, right? And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And they were blasting like rock music. I thought it was really sweet. And then all of a sudden, you just hear a deafening boom! Because he actually shot a blank. Yeah. And someone next to me was like, it's a cap gun. I'm like, that's not a cap gun. That was a legitimate blank.
Yeah.
If it was even a blank.
Yeah, I think it was pretty crazy. And again, the charm comes because they have they stop and each one has its own theme.
See, but I don't know if I really like that part, to be honest.
I think it's not scary, but it has its own thing.
It's not just that. It's like there was no cohesion. Yeah. Like they had you stop here and it's Michael Myers, and you stop here and it's Freddy versus Jason, and you stop here and it's clowns. And that's cool, I suppose, but it harkens me back to the best haunted hayride I've ever been on, which was at Headless Horseman down in Poughkeepsie. And that is a killer place. And there's no real comparison because that is not a campy thing to go to. Like, that's a destination. Yeah. But the year I went, it was themed as like a zombie apocalypse theme. Yeah. And it was insane. Like, they had hordes of zombies chasing you around on this thing. And there was a Headless Horseman, like a legitimate person riding a black stallion around the whole time, spooking you with a sword and a lantern. Yeah. And that thing that they did turned up to 10,000 by driving you into like an airplane hangar that was they closed the doors around you and then they blasted CO2 from above you, and it was like super cold. It was like and it was like a decontamination chamber. That was the first thing they did. Yeah. So they decontaminated you. Or no, that was the last thing they did. They decontaminated you after you'd been exposed to the zombies. Yeah. And the whole thing was that theme. And there was like a giant 30-foot tall animatronic zombie creature thing that like was like, ooh, it breathe fire and crap, and there was like a car on fire over here, and like it was insane.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, we were talking as we're going through the maze, and I think one of the coolest things they could have added, and I don't think anyone that works there will ever hear this.
Probably not. Unless we like post another Facebook page. Yeah.
But maze, if they had somebody on like stilts or like high enough that at one point they could just kind of look down at you, dude, that would be crazy.
I was telling you, what they need is just like at Headless Horseman where they had people on zip lines.
Yeah, but that's
God.
Yeah, I think that would be tough.
That's not any harder than having somebody on stilts. You put 2 posts in the ground, put a zip line across it.
But I don't know.
Can you imagine you're walking along through a cord maze and all of a sudden somebody's grabbing at you from above your head?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I think... So have you ever been to KO in Utica?
No.
They have 4, now I think they have 5 different attractions. And the downfall there is that they're all the same kind of thing once you get into them. So there's a lot of gore and like scenes where that are like kind of like that.
That doesn't really get me going.
Yeah, and then like it's all jump scares and there's the strobe lights. And I mean they have one really cool section where there's like literally outside the entrance a downed helicopter with like loud CB radio stuff playing, and like they set up some atmospheres really well, but then you get into it and it's more of like the same.
Right.
You know, I think the problem is that they think they need to do, and then this is in all places in general. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to KO. I think you might enjoy it, you might not. It really depends on the kind of person you are. But
yeah, if you're a loser like Corey, follow this opinion.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah. But it's the setup can often be scarier than the actual scare. You know, like in the maze tonight, we're due for another scare, and you're walking and it doesn't happen.
That's one thing I'm on the fence with that maze, is that there was so much time of walking when nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I can't decide if I liked that because it made the suspense build for something to happen.
Yeah.
Or if I didn't like it because not enough stuff happened. Because really, you think about it, we were in that maze for a good 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And we encountered, 5 people?
Yeah. I don't know. There could have been probably a little bit more. But the problem is, you know, with the Hayride is then it's bam, 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 bam. And then you're kind of like, okay, another person's yelling at us. Or like KO, there's another person following us. And at KO, they can't touch you.
Yeah, here they could touch us.
Yeah.
We signed a waiver.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that...
It all worked out. We didn't die.
So, one of the attractions there is Asylum. And you go in, and your group sits down in couches. Why does that sound familiar? And there's a woman that comes out, or maybe it's a man, I don't know. It doesn't really... But, like, a receptionist goes, they'll be right with you, and then she gets a phone call and lets you in. That was creepy. Because it felt like you were in, like, a 1800s asylum. And I'm like, this is legit. And our buddy Jake looks at me and goes, yeah, this is the best one so far. Then you walk in and you're going down a long hallway that looks like it's in an asylum. And the people are there, but they're not trying to scare you. They're just doing crazy things, like hitting their heads against the wall. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they got it. Like, this is going to be the good one. And then it quickly just turned into gore and jump scares. Mm. And it's like...
So they had the perfect setup and then they ruined it.
Yeah, like I think for me, and you've been to a really good one, and it's been a while since I've been to a really good one, but I don't want to go that way is the best way of doing it instead of jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. It's like you should see something and be like, oh, that just doesn't look good. Yeah.
Do I have to?
Well, kind of like after we had encountered the Chainsaw Man on one long stretch, every time we ran into a long stretch, we subconsciously look behind us.
Actually, I spent most of the time in the maze looking behind me.
Yeah.
Because as the man in the back, you know that you're likely to be snuck up on.
Yeah. And I think, it's...
I apologize for any sniveling.
Yeah.
I'm getting over a cold.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the next episode I'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
Might have to take this bald cap off soon.
Why?
Because I'm dying inside of it.
Joe Rogan, you have to stick with it. Commit.
I don't know if I can. I don't think I can do it. It's too much pressure. It's too much.
But yeah, I think yeah.
All better.
There you go. Okay.
I think we have a victor.
You put a hat on over your headphones and the ball cap. Sounds good. We also have the light on for the porch, so I don't have to worry about things coming up behind us.
Yeah, Corey's extra scared because we just got back from a haunted hayride.
I'm not scared.
You're extra scared.
Not scared.
I can smell your fear.
I'm not scared.
I know you can't at home, viewers and listeners, but I can smell it from here. I know the smell of fear. It smells like you smell.
Yeah. So I remember when I was little going to Erie Canal Village and being on their haunted hayride. And they did it right. Like I said, it kept moving most of the time. But
yeah, the stopping killed me.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to stay moving. They should have 2 speeds. 1 speed for scaring and 1 speed for not scaring.
Yeah, and then there was the one I used to work at had a hayride. And what there was, they didn't stop either, except once, where it broke down. And the lights would all go off and like... nobody would rush it. You just hear the creepy noises around. And then the lights would all come back on and the driver put on like a zombie mask. So it looked like he had been infected. That was pretty cool. Because it's all subtle, like...
That is pretty cool.
Creepy twists.
Yeah.
Or like, they had one, which I always wonder why more places don't do this, where they have somebody as like a dummy in the line. Then that person gets taken during the ride, like literally taken. Like tonight, somebody got on the ride during the ride
and just kept saying, "Don't let them take me!" Ah!
And we're like, "The story's been written. This is a story as old as time."
They're gonna get you.
You're gonna get got. I'm sorry. This is nothing. We can't touch them. And rule number 1 and rule number 3 says we got to stay in our seat. So
Yeah, that was the first thing they said. Is they're like, there are 3 rules. 1, you have to remain seated the whole time.
Yes.
2, don't harass or was the word? Heckle. Don't heckle any of the actors. And 3 was
stay in your seat.
That was number 1.
That was the joke. That she repeated it. 1 and 3. That was the problem. There you go. Now you finally get it.
I'm sorry, it went way over my bald cap.
Yes. So I think she got a little annoyed because we caught it and kept saying it. Remember rule 1 and 3. And stay seated.
Yeah, we might have heckled a couple people too by accident.
Yeah.
But it's just in our nature. We can't help it. We're hecklers.
Yeah. Our buddy Jake also is one of those people that likes to look at it and kind of point out where it could be better.
The whole ride.
Yeah.
We were all like, there they are.
Yeah. Well, no, the best part was Jake's job was to keep an eye behind us. 3 times in a row, they immediately show up behind us between him and I, and I'm like face in between, directly in between them. And I'm like, Jake, you really suck at this. And we're having like this conversation while this guy's trying to scare us right here. And I'm like, can you hold on a second? So, yeah. And then, I don't know. It's just, it was, I think, worth the $20. Part of it goes to a good cause. Yeah.
That's one thing I really liked about it is they're donating a percentage of the proceeds to the CNY ASPCA. SPCA.
Yep.
Yes,
and then
SPCA.
I have to say one of the coolest things
for them
was
animals
that you get on the hayride and then they drop you off to do the maze and then you have to get back on the hayride. I think that's legit because it's not like, okay, we're going to take a break and do something else. It's like, boom, like you're in it.
Yeah.
In that environment. And like it's a little relaxed because there's somebody there telling you the rules and there's, porta potties and stuff. But it's still kind of cool to be like, all right, we're away from that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, overall. I would have liked to see the maze be a little bit more mazy.
Well, I think in a way they kind of can't.
No. Because
then, it would get crazy.
I've been in a maze that's a maze that has haunted things, and I think the go-to would be like have a couple of zones where like there's one or two people patrolling the zone, and if you run into the same people, at some point you have to find a way to kind of lead them out. Yeah. Like there's like it gives the illusion of a maze, but really it's not.
Some short dead ends.
Yeah. That might help, but again, I think I like the maze as
it'd be different too. The maze would have been better, maybe, and I hate to say this, but if there was some light. Like, somewhere.
Yeah, I think, again, the problem is that too much dark. You can't have... It's a balance, you know?
Well, if you're gonna... That's what I'm saying is you can't have... Like, for their situation, what they did was probably best. Yeah. Where it was like a path more than anything.
Yeah.
And it gave you a couple forks, but at the end of the day, it's going to take you to the same spot.
Yeah, what would have been really cool is, like, if in the middle of the corn maze there's, like, a house you have to go through.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was the way it was at Headless Horseman. They had, like, a corn maze that led into a series of buildings.
Yeah. Well, like, that to me sounds like it's more of a... what's the word for it? It's an experience more than a ride.
Oh yes, definitely.
You know, like when you're in it,
the whole idea was like you ride the hayride into this haunted place.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to that part of it that you can only get to once you've ridden the hayride.
Yeah.
Which is all the crazy buildings, and they had like games and all kinds of crazy stuff, and like gift shops and everything. And then, but you're also on the back side of the entrance. It's kind of weird. It's like you come into the same place that you end, but it's a section that you can't get to until you've gone through the hayride portion.
Yeah. Which I think is really a really cool idea. Because, you know, it's like...
I'm telling you, you'd really enjoy it. You might actually get scared at that one.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing next weekend?
We're going to Spamalot, bro.
That's Friday.
I thought it was Saturday.
No, that's Friday.
Oh, mate.
Mm-hmm.
We might be taking a trip.
That'd be great. I'd like it. But, again, it's like, think of...
We have to do 2 Halloween episodes.
Yeah, think of Disney. You know, you go in there, and it's... Yeah, they have the food and all that stuff, but it's all themed.
Yeah.
So you still feel like you're in that. And that's what I think they need to kind of do more at... And that's what I think...
That's what I was getting at in the beginning.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having sort of a common theme. Like, I'm sure Headless does different stuff every year, but like I keep referring back to the last time I went there when it was zombie themed.
Yeah.
And it just was great. Because, like, you went through all these buildings and you found out, like, there's, like, a mad scientist in one of the areas that's, like, created this zombie plague. And kind of like in Blizzard. What's his name? The dude from ICC in Warcraft.
I never got that far.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, Doctor something or other. He was the guy who was behind the plague in World of Warcraft, and it was good. Yeah, super nerdy aside there.
I think, it's... Looking at this, I have to say, though, it's pretty awesome that all the volunteers that make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely really cool. And I mean, when I did it back in the day at the place I worked, I found it enjoyable.
Refresher?
I'm good. I think it's fun. And I mean, scaring people is fun. But, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, I worked in one when I was younger, too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's an interesting experience. I think it definitely gives you, even on the local ones, gives you an idea of how they work.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger ones, obviously, with the bigger budget...
Oh, I'm sure that they have a crazy budget. I would have to look up and see how much it is. If it's like $100 a head, I'm not going.
Yes, you are.
I don't know if I can get Trina to go, man. Just this little one, she was pretty scared.
That's okay.
She's going to be like, no.
No. Got a little bit of a chill. Must be that ghost in the window.
Got him. You'd poop yourself right now. Yeah. I'd probably poop myself.
Yeah, if something showed up there, well, definitely.
Are you sure you want the light on? Now we can see what's out there.
Yeah, that's good. But again, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I always like spending time with friends, as corny as
it was nice to see everybody.
Yeah, and it's just, that's the thing is...
Shout out to all the friends.
Yeah, you know who you are.
You're going to listen to this.
Yeah, and watch it.
You're gonna get on the...
You're going to have to put up with this.
You're going to get on the YouTube. And you're going to come in here and you're going to listen and watch to this. You are. For the whole duration.
Yep.
None of that 4 minutes and clicking off stuff, I'll know.
Will you, though?
No.
Oh, man. So, of all the Halloween costumes you've ever had, what was your favorite?
I've had a lot of them that were really stupid and lame.
Yep.
So...
How about best and lamest?
Okay, my best one I ever had was probably when I think I was like 13 or 14. And I had this super legit costume of Phantom of the Opera from the masquerade scene where he's got the full skeleton mask. Mm-hmm. I had that whole get-up, like the tux, the cape, everything.
Nice.
That was probably my best. My worst, well, that was worst as in lamest or worst as in just laziest?
Both.
All right, my laziest was definitely when I was in college. I think it was my freshman year. Me and Matt, we dressed up as Batman and I think Superman, maybe, where we had literally, I had a Batman t-shirt where I had the Batman logo, and I had a beanie that you could pull down over your face, and it was a Batman mask, but then you put it up, and it was just a regular beanie. That was the whole costume. That was the lazy one. The lame one was probably when... there's two of them. The lamest was probably when Trina and I went as Jack and Diet Coke. Oh, gosh. It was perfect for me because part of the costume was I had a Jack Daniels t-shirt on, and I was literally carrying around a bottle of Jack with me and a Jack glass. And I would go over to Trina, who was wearing a Diet Coke shirt and carrying a bottle of a 2-liter Diet Coke. She would pour some in my glass, and I'd mix some Jack with it, and I got all kinds of drinking on that evening. That was great. And the other one that we did that was pretty lame, because couples costumes by default are super lame. Just in case anybody's wondering, couples costumes are never cool. I don't care how cool you think you are, they're not. What we did was, I was Jake from State Farm.
Oh my gosh.
So I dressed up in khakis and a red shirt and a little name tag that said Jake and it had State Farm on it. And I had like the little headset, like from a call center. And she dressed up as, I used an Xbox headset. Yeah, that was all I had. And she dressed up as Flo from Progressive. So she had like the thing in her hair and like the full white schmuck going on with the Flo name tag.
Nice.
That was the thing we did.
Huh. All right.
That one was pretty gay.
The best costume I can remember was me in where it raises you have to wear this thing. It's inflatable that increases your shoulders from here to here.
I know which ones you're talking about.
And then you put on this extra long thing where your pants are here, so it makes you look like you're headless. And it had skeleton fingers, and you carry it around a skull. I have to say that was probably the most legit one, and I actually used it in the haunted house I worked in, and I would carry around bags, and I was the headless, like, butler. It was kind of cool. I liked that. And then, because no one ever expected it, because it looked fake.
Did it have the nipples that were really close together for eye holes?
No, it was it looked like a butler outfit.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was called the Headless Butler.
I'm just kidding. Although it would be hilarious if it had like
if
super
it was
close,
like
it was shirtless and it just had
shirtless.
super close together nipples that were like eye width apart.
No, it would be just like chest hair fuzz. The lamest that I thought would be cool is I got convinced going to Lava for Halloween.
Lava's a nightclub.
Yeah, so
for those of you listening not in the local area.
I decided that I would get one of those white face masks and turn it into the Phantom of the Opera mask, because the white regular mask was like $1. The Phantom of the Opera one, the cheapest one, was like $30.
Yeah, I know. I've bought a couple of them because Phantom of the Opera mask is like my favorite mask.
Yeah, so I cut it, and it looked pretty good. And I wore a red t-shirt with a black button-up and black pants and black shoes. So I'm like, it's like kind of a cool...
Ghetto Phantom.
Yeah, Phantom. People won't recognize me. Yeah, I got recognized. The mask started like literally cutting my skin. It was a horrible thing.
Why would you do that to yourself? Just buy the $30 mask.
Yeah. And then I lost all faith in the Green Ranger. He was my favorite Ranger.
You never told me this story.
So
let's find out all about Corey's Green Power Ranger letdown.
Growing up, the Green Power Ranger was my favorite Power Ranger.
He was your bro.
Yeah.
He held it down for you.
Yep. And at Lava, the Green Power Ranger and the Red Power Ranger went past our group that was dancing about a dozen times. Every time the Green Power Ranger grabbed my ass.
That should have totally reaffirmed that the Green Power Ranger was also, not only were you his favorite, or not only was he your favorite, but you were also his favorite. Yeah. He was like, that's my boy right there.
Breaking my heart. So then...
Was it breaking your heart, or was it breaking your rectum?
Both. So then, a year later, we go back, and I'm like, I ain't going to lava.
Nope.
Not doing it.
Nope.
We'll go to the Turquoise Tiger, have a really unique experience there, get some Moscow mules. Then we decide to go to the Rock Club, whatever that's called.
The Rock Club.
Yeah, they have...
Oh, yeah, there's like the punk rock thing.
Yeah, grunge. We go, and they had a box where people had to check in, like, anything that looked like a weapon or anything.
Which was full, because it was a grunge place.
Yeah.
Everybody came in and put their chain knuckles in there.
In the box, and I recognize it because I have one somewhere, is the Green Power Ranger's, like, knife that he blows into to summon his...
Zord?
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's a Zord.
Zord. I'm like, oh my God.
It's a Zord, because it's a Megazord when they all get together.
So this is a year later. We go down, we're sitting on one of the couches. A red Power Ranger and a green Power Ranger sit down next to us. I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. He's following me. It's over.
I've been had.
So from then on, I can't look at the Green Power Ranger the same.
It's kind of like the one Teletubby.
You mean all of them?
No, the one specific one. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Totally. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, you do.
Probably.
You do.
Dragon Man? Shout out to Dragon Man.
Shout out Dragon Man. You're not listening to this, are you, Dragon Man?
Oh, man, that was
I'm going to send this link to Dragon Man directly.
You should.
Be like, hey, Dragon Man, check it out. We mentioned Dragon Man.
Man. That was pretty bad. And then I was just obsessed as a kid with ninjas. And at the point, my mom goes, you can't be a ninja anymore. Be something else.
But you should have been like, but me.
So then I'm like, fine, I'll be a Power Ranger. Same thing.
It's a power ninja.
So you got an idea for what you're going to be for Halloween, or you want to keep it a secret?
It's not going to be good, so... It's going to be a stupid couple's outfit. I'm a married man. I don't get a choice anymore.
Yeah. I think I've got a pretty decent one.
What are you going to be? Let's hear it.
It's a skin from Fortnite.
Oh my God. From 2 Week.
Yeah. It's got
That's great, right?
It's a skull trooper. And it's all black clothes with the skeleton like bones painted on it. And then face paint to make your face look like a skull.
I think actually Trina and I are just going to wear t-shirts. I'm going to wear a red t-shirt. She's going to wear a blue t-shirt. And mine's going to say, let's start with hers. Hers is going to have a big snowflake on it.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's going to have a Netflix logo.
I don't get it.
Netflix and chill.
That's really bad.
Isn't that gay?
It's really bad. I feel like you can do better.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to bother.
Dude.
We were just going to go the t-shirt route this year.
I don't know. That's my idea. I don't know if I'm even going to do it.
Well, see, I've got this sweet bald cap now.
Yeah. You can be Joe Rogan.
I can be Ro Jogan.
And then I can give my bald cap to your wife.
Ro Jogan now.
He's trying it. He's trying. Oh, I like the fact that it's over your headphones. Looks great.
Clutch. We've won the battle.
Yeah. So, when are you gonna start taking mate trick or treating?
I don't know, man. He's super young and super volatile right now.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also the perfect chance for you to get all the candy.
Yeah, but I shouldn't.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like there's a certain age where he's able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Run,
possibly
sprint,
jump. Able to say something. Maybe not, but you could still take him. People are gonna give him candy, and then you just not give him the candy, and he won't know no better.
Yeah.
And then at one point, he's gonna get old enough to be like, "Wait a minute,
I got all this candy. And
that's my candy. That's my dog."
You know who's? I don't think we've actually told that story, have we?
No, we haven't.
Corey has made it a point to tell my son that everything's a dog.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah, I'll point to that computer. That's a dog.
That's a dog. That's a dog. That's a dog. That's a dog.
The sad thing is that it worked.
That's a dog. I'm a dog.
Yeah.
These are dogs.
Yeah. The sad thing is that it worked.
Well, he's this big. Standing from the table.
Yeah.
This big. He's wee. His brain is developing, and you're trying to mush him into this really, really dumb corner.
Mush his brain, literally.
Yes, you're trying to mush his brain. Poor
all the
soft
soft spots.
Don't you touch my boy's soft spots. I'll give you new soft spots.
Oh, jeez.
That's Papa Bear right there. You don't mess with Papa Bear. Because then you gotta deal with Mama Bear, and she's scarier than me.
Papa Bear, go get Mama Bear. Mama Bear, he's doing stuff over here. That's who you gotta be.
Mama Bear and Papa Bear? That has got to be... No. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Why?
Because it just is.
No, it's not.
It's dumb.
Clever.
Should I, dunk myself in tar and then roll around in a
great start?
Roll myself around in a vat of fur?
So, not gonna lie, I got these really crappy dollar store masks. If either of us were skinny, I was gonna get the children's Chewbacca outfit. But if it was an adult, I was gonna get whatever size they had, just so we could attempt to squeeze into it. That looks kind of like your son. What'd you say?
No.
I don't know.
It could be my son. It definitely looks like it could have come from the fruit of my loins.
Yeah. I think not a lot, but a little bit, possibly. You decide. Those of you watching, those of you listening are probably like, what the hell is going on?
Send us an email.
So,
Babbleheads Podcast.
Show the back of that mask. That has to be the most lazy thing.
Look at all the foam.
Yeah, at one point, at first it was just a flat, and then they're like, people are just saying it's uncomfortable. How can we make this better? How about 2 blocks of foam that are completely inorganically shaped?
I feel like...
That'll just cut off.
They might as well have put 2 blocks of wood.
Yeah.
Because they're not even...
No.
They don't squish.
No, they don't squish.
I mean, I gotta put some... If I put a lot of force on there, it squishes. But your face does not exert this much force.
No. I gotta say, I drove by those cows.
And you said dog?
They're looking mighty tasty.
Yeah. We bought pumpkins from the people who live down the road from us today. And I informed Corey that they also sell all the meats. And Corey was immediately intrigued.
Yeah. Have we talked about this on a podcast episode before?
Talk about what?
The whole Joe Rogan talking about how he only eats meat that he hunts.
Yeah, I think we might have.
Maybe the last episode. So yeah, you can listen to that, but...
This is the same idea, kind of.
It's selling me more and more the idea of trying to get it more locally sourced.
Yeah, this would be literally cows that have grown up their whole life a quarter-mile down the road from my house.
Yeah.
And
but like you were saying, you can pick the one you want. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go that far.
I didn't say you could pick the one you want. I said you could pick the type you want.
Okay.
They have 2 different kinds of cows. They have the long hair, which is a fancy word for them. There's like a breed. And then there's the regular short hair.
I wonder if they taste any different.
I kind of want to try like a bit of each.
Yeah. Can I have the sampler platter? Can you leave a little bit of the hair on one so I know the difference? I don't know. My only issue is
look at that backstrap still got the fur on it.
Yeah, that's a lot of red meat for one man to consume. Even if I get like a 16th of a cow.
Well, like I told you, my mom ended up with an 1/8 last year, and just to put this in perspective, it was 26 pounds of ground beef.
Oh my god!
Excuse me, 26 pounds of ground beef. I want to say 5 or 6 roasts. The size of my head.
Yeah.
A full brisket. A bunch of ribs. And a bunch of probably close to 15 to 20 pounds of steaks of different varieties. Jeez. So it's probably 70 pounds of meat, I'm going to guess. 70 or 80.
And how many meals do you think that is?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're just a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, a steak is a meal. Because these were inch to inch and a quarter thick.
Yeah.
Like, legit steaks. Like, not little baby, like, thin slice. These were like, throw them on the grill, and they're like, they stick up a good bit.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you're supporting local.
And the prices were actually fairly reasonable. I think if you just bought, like, by the pound, ground beef was like $4 a pound, which is what you pay in a grocery store, or less.
Oh, yeah. And it's good, generally good quality. As long as you trust the butcher, which the butcher around here is pretty reliable.
The other thing is I don't know if they actually include processing in the price. That's one thing for me. Like, if I'm going to buy a bunch of meat, I don't have the facility here to process it. Like, I can't buy a half a cow and butcher it myself.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to, man. I think the waste... I could. Don't get me wrong. I could.
Well, I could hang it up in the garage, but...
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I trust myself.
Yeah. So...
Half a cow is $600.
Members of my family hunt. I don't know how it is for you, but the reason I don't hunt things like deer is I don't like the meat.
I love venison, so I would totally do it. But, I mean, I think the only reason why I don't hunt personally is because I don't have enough time.
Yeah. See, I have nothing wrong with killing a deer.
No.
If you're going to eat the meat. I'm
not a big fan of killing for sport. Never been a big fan of killing for sport.
I haven't had it recently, so maybe I would like it.
I bet you if you had it done right, I think a lot of people who cook venison cook it wrong because it's so super, super lean that it is really easy to screw up. Any type of lean meat, because fat makes cooking meat easy.
Yeah.
Like if you have a 80-20 burger, it's going to come out juicy. Like you can burn it to a crisp. Yeah. And it's going to come out juicy. But if you start with something that's 95% lean, or in the case of venison, it's probably closer to like 98% lean because it's just when you eat venison, you look at it, it's just straight red. Like there's no white in it.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the backstrap, which Joe Rogan talks about the backstrap a lot. The reason why you've probably never had backstrap before is because the only people who eat backstrap are people who kill the deer.
Yeah.
Because that's the part that no one gives away.
Yeah.
It's the part that has the fat kind of marbled in and stuff, and it's just...
Yeah. Well, I think it's also because of the animal itself. I mean, you look at a cow...
It's super lean.
It doesn't do that much moving. It does a lot of mooing, but not much moving.
I'm a little jealous. My brother used to have these things with his friends because he had a lot of hunter friends, and my brother used to hunt. But I always wanted to go to one. I never got invited because I was younger at the time. Mm-hmm. They used to have, around this time of year, actually, like Thanksgiving time, they would all get together and they would have a game feast. And a bunch of their friends went to, like, Alaska and all these different places. And they'd come back and they would cook all this stuff up. So they would have everything from moose, they'd have elk and deer, and they would have, like, wild turkey and all this stuff. You know, just tons of different stuff, like dove. Like, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And they would cook it all up and have it just a huge smorgasbord of wild game. And I kind of have always wanted to try a lot of that stuff. I've never had moose. I've had elk.
I've had moose. Moose is pretty good.
I've never had wild elk. It's always been, like, farm raised.
No, I'm pretty sure I've had elk burgers.
But that's farm raised. If you've had elk burgers, it's farm raised.
No, that's elk. They made the burgers. My uncle hunted the
elk. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, and then they got them processed and all
gotcha.
That stuff.
Because you can buy, like, if you go to different places, you can get, like, elk burger.
Yeah.
And...
I think that, I've filleted fish before.
I've
had
too.
The fish.
I hate bass. I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite.
Bass or rats the water, though. They live in anything.
Bass kind of are really gamey. Yeah. I've had one person cook them the way that, like gamey, fishy, same deal. I had one person cook them that I liked them, and the breading would disgust you. The breading was made of Cheetos.
No, that makes sense.
And it really, for whatever reason, it masked the fishiness of the fish, which was kind of cool. But I love crappies.
See,
crappie, perch, sunfish are so good.
Yeah. My grandfather made perch, and they're the poor man's shrimp. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're the problem with perch. A lot of people don't bother with them. It's hard to get a perch that's big enough to even mess around with, and if you do mess around with them, you end up with little fish nuggets.
Yeah, you got to catch a lot of fish. Yep. Well, that's like walleye is like the big fish.
Walleye's good.
My dad and uncle and all them catch, and you got to get the cheek meat.
I can't say I've ever
literally cut out the cheek. And what always used to kill me is, again, I have no problem catching a fish, filleting it. But, my dad would catch the fish, put it on a stringer, and then, throw it on land, and it's over there going,
Okay, so what do you prefer? Let me put it this way. When you're filleting a fish, do you prefer to let them string out and die before you fillet them? Do you club them?
I sever behind its neck. I stab it, and the eyes go white and kill it. I cut the spinal cord and I fillet.
That's good. I'm cool with that. So, my father-in-law
fillets them alive. Yeah, that's what my uncle and my dad do, and it kills me.
It just breaks my heart.
Yeah,
because I get that they're people look at fish as a vegetable of the sea.
Yeah,
but for real. That fish is going through all... Can you imagine if somebody cut your skin off of you while you were living?
Yeah. And no, bullheads are the worst because when we go camping up at Long Point State Park, we used to, they don't really do it as much as they used to, but catch a lot of bullhead. And my uncle...
Redfield Reservoir is a lot of bullhead up too.
My uncle showed us how to, on my dad's side, showed us how to fillet them. And you cut, and if you do it right, you can twist, snap the neck, and pull the meat off. It was I don't remember the technique. I'm not a big fan of bullhead, so I didn't really care.
What's your favorite type of freshwater fish?
I don't really have one. Perch probably. It's weird.
You're weird. I mean, perch tastes good, but it's too much work.
The worst part,
I think my favorite
snap the neck and pull the meat off, the heads would still be going... Oh, not that, though. That was some of the...
Belch. The heads were still belching.
That was some of the nachos. But they're opening their mouths and, sucking air while they have nothing but heads. That makes me sad. And, I mean, I know some of it might be involuntary response. And
what kills me is when you're filleting a fish and then it flips and you see its meat flapping all over the place and... Oof, yikes. My preferred method is usually to string them.
Yeah.
Let them suffocate, and then...
but suffocation is still pretty bad.
Yeah, but I feel like once you've come to terms with it, you sort of make peace with yourself. Man, people who drown, at least in movies, I've never actually seen someone drown, but I feel like people who drown, it's super panic for a second, and then the water fills your lungs, and you just come to peace with the fact that you're done.
So I remember there was... Oh, it was The Prestige, the movie.
Such a good movie.
Because, spoiler alert, in The Prestige, there's this trick where he can actually duplicate himself.
Yep.
And he sets it up that the copy of himself gets killed every time and locked into the...
water tank.
In the water tank. And then he never knows if he's going to be the one in the tank or if he's going to make it out.
Right.
And he has a room full of dead hymns. And
Such a good movie.
Yeah,
Go watch The Prestige.
His mentor told him early on.
Don't click off.
Because they lost somebody. Was it his wife or somebody that drowned?
Forget. It's been a long time.
And he said that, drowning is like being embraced by the sea and it's not that bad. And then, because an old sailor told him. And then he's like, no, the sailor, he lied to make him feel better, that it was probably one of the worst ways to go. So I don't know if it's true or not. But actually, I had this discussion with somebody recently where they said, I think drowning would probably be not that bad to go. And I go, think about this.
I don't know, man.
Have you ever been drinking something and then accidentally got it down in your lungs and that horrible, it hurts. It doesn't feel good and you're coughing.
But like I said, I think that hits you, the fact that your lungs just filled up with water and it hurts.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think very shortly after, maybe not instantly, very shortly after that, you go, it's all over.
Yeah.
And you just kind of sit there, and you lose your buoyancy because you no longer have the air in your lungs, and you sort of just start to sink. And
that's
you just go,
not what really keeps you buoyant. That's stuff in your lungs. But
I'm
so
out,
first
son.
of all, I looked
it do you even physics?
They talk about how everything in your body, you're telling yourself, just hold on a little longer, and then you get to the point where your body literally forces you to breathe it in. And that some people have lived up to 11 minutes before passing out. And that there's been some cases of people that after 30 minutes have been brought back. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. But
my ball cap just got blown.
Yeah, and some of the... And again, this is just from Dr. Google, so take it with a grain of salt. But some people actually, after they've been like resuscitated, they don't remember pain at all. But well, your mind has this weird way of taking the pain out of your memories. Have you ever almost drowned before or felt like it? It happened to me once up at camp, and I won't say.
I learned to swim when I was 2.
I won't say who, but I was held under the water by somebody. And
somebody probably super awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think they realized it at the time, but like I'd come up and I hadn't really gotten enough air, and I was like, and I remember that it was scary, man. It was like just.
Well, you probably thought you were gonna die.
Yeah, so
was that.
So I would say that would be something. I'm not like afraid of it. Like I swim all the time. I go and do things I probably shouldn't, but it was not fun. Yeah. And I actually read a book recently that talked about how, when you see something where people end up in a river, I've never really looked at it and be like, wow, that's really dangerous. They're not going to make it out. I'm like, they're just going to float down river and get out. How is this that big of a deal? Actually, I guess it's pretty likely and dangerous that like your foot might get stuck between 2 rocks.
Yeah. And
then the current just drags you under. And I'm like,
water can be very dangerous.
I think we take it kind of for granted.
How dangerous it is?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once you have a pool in your backyard, it's kind of like when we eat shark.
Yeah.
We're the master of the universe at that point.
Yeah.
So we don't even think about it. We're above it. So, like, there's always that humbling moment, though, which every human being needs to have a humbling moment.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a humbling moment in a long time, you get you one.
Yeah.
Because it puts you back on your level. It reminds you of the fact that you are but an animal on this planet.
Yeah. Like the other day when I was walking the dog at 6 a.m. and I heard coyotes in the field next to me.
You don't gotta worry about coyotes usually.
The dog looked at me and just booked it, and it sounded like they were chasing us. Yeah, that was a good time. That was scary. Because I know rationally that coyotes won't generally attack people.
Generally not.
But I'm walking... He's not a small dog, but he's a little bit smaller than a coyote right now.
Coyotes are pretty small.
Yeah, some of them get pretty big. My uncle shoots them all the time, so I've seen him.
Yeah.
He's about maybe the same size, and if there's enough...
Well, that's the problem. The reason why you almost got attacked by coyotes is because your uncle keeps shooting them.
Yep. I've told him.
I mean, as much as I'm sort of an advocate for that, as far as population control, the problem is... Shooting coyotes really isn't population control.
Because they have
They're weird creatures.
They've evolved that when one of the pack dies, they actually reproduce faster.
Yep, they go into heat immediately. Yeah. It's like a biological defense against population control. It's really strange.
I think we've been so disconnected from real problems in life. Like, I was thinking about this today. We've lost respect for a lot of things because... I was watching this really campy horror movie where this guy was a blacksmith and he's looking for a spade.
Does he know when to call one a spade?
Yeah, so a shovel. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know what made me think about it, but I go, man, for us that wouldn't be a big deal. You lose a shovel, okay, I'm going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a shovel.
You can go down to Walmart and buy like a $4 shovel.
Yeah. Back in the day, if you broke a shovel or something, that was a big deal. Because someone had to pound that thing to shape or carve it if it was wood.
Yeah.
and then the handle would have to be curved.
We live in a miraculous age, my friend.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I mean, you need or want for nothing, pretty much.
I think even for the most part, this is a broad generalization, but I think for the most part, even the poorer, maybe not the poorest, but the poorer people in our country still basically want for nothing.
I still think the poorest are better off than the poorest back in the day.
The poorest of today are 1,000 times better off
they're
than the
probably
poorest of
like what the
years ago.
Majority of people were.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, I heard someone say, is very wise, I heard them say that today, if you're an average American and have a vehicle of any kind, if it's a 72 Datsun, you have more mobility than a king did 300 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. How many miles do you have on your car?
Like 100-some thousand.
Yeah. So the moon is 213,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that I've put more than 213,000 miles on my cars over the years. So we've traveled to the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, the Roman emperors probably didn't travel as much as we have. And we're in our 20s.
And now we celebrate things like Halloween and make ridiculous purchases.
There was a mouse.
Really?
Yeah, he was outside.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, there he is. Look, he's jumping up against the window.
Is he really?
Yeah, right there. Look.
Oh my goodness. That's kind of cute, actually. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's actually something outside the window.
Yep, it's a face in the window.
It's just a mouse face.
It's a mouse face.
It's climbing inside your grill.
He's trying to be inside the house.
Yes.
I hope that he stays out there because I've got Mousetrap right there with his name on it.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I'd feel kind of bad.
Why? Because he was cute? Are you going to name him? Is his name Jeeves now?
His name's Roberto.
Roberto?
Roberto.
You have to say it with the accent.
Roberto. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think how small the world is now.
He's back.
And how big it was. I wish we could get that on camera because it's kind of crazy.
I've never seen
I don't
a mouse
want to
do
open
that.
the door just to let him in, but then he would die.
Yes, he would immediately be killed. Look, he just jumped like a foot.
Poor little guy.
He's fine. He's
probably
just a little cold.
Oh, wow. He just booked it that... Well, there he goes again.
Dude, they're so fast.
Yeah, this is probably great content for the podcast, but holy crap.
Yeah, no one cares. Sorry, guys. Sorry. If you're still listening, which you're not, there's a mouse. We're distracted.
Yeah, it's running back and forth in front of this thing and jumping probably... Well, the viewers can see it. About a pane. It's
jumping a full pane from the floor up to a pane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it could obviously see us. So
it's trying to get inside the house because it wants to live.
I wonder if something's hunting it. Yeah.
No, probably not. I bet you it just is cold. It's cold.
I don't think that's it. I think there's something out there after.
There's cats.
Well,
we've gotten to the point now where this is breaking down from a conversation.
It was a good Halloween talk. I enjoy Halloween. I think I hope everyone has a good, safe Halloween. Get some candy. Don't find any needles or razor blades.
Yeah, this is going to be released just in time to give you that quality advice.
Yeah, so have a good time. Drink responsibly.
Hey, cheers to good Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, cheers.